Hello YouTube, welcome back to Flight Sim World, and you join me as we're coming up to 10 miles, about 10 miles away or 11 miles away from the Goodwood VOR, which means that we are going to be bringing this aircraft in to land very soon, hopefully just out of this cloud. So how are we going to do this? Well, we've tuned in the NDB on 332 kilohertz, which is that one over there. This still hasn't come alive for me. I'm not entirely sure why it hasn't come alive, but I know generally which direction we're supposed to be going. But I am I'm a little bit confused why it's not doing that. I'm sure that's supposed to be. Let's change mode. No, it's definitely supposed to be ADF mode, like so. I don't know what that is. Switch that all the way up. That is a slight worry. That is a very slight worry. What we're going to be doing is we're going to start getting ourselves heading in. We're going to set our heading to whatever course we're on right now, which is around there. That's going to be our heading, and we'll see what happens, because we are going to switch into heading mode because we're flying right over the Goodwood VOR. So we're going to switch into heading mode, and then from there we're going to continue our flight, and then we'll pop down towards the NDB, and then we'll sort it out. So once we get past the Goodwood VOR, we're going to wait about 7 miles, and then we're going to start descending. So we're going to still be looking at this. So we're 7 miles from the VOR now. We're going to wait until we're 7 miles past the VOR. So as you can see, we're still going to or towards the VOR as opposed to from. So the VOR is just probably right there actually. That's probably Goodwood Airfield. So we're going to go past that, and I think that's actually Shoreham. No, that's just a bit of a weird ground. I am worried that this needle hasn't come alive. I must have done something wrong here. Can we ident? No, we can't. Yeah, I must have done something wrong. So, because that should have come alive already, and we should have been able to see what we're doing. Now, the way we're going to bring this aircraft down is, of course, we're going to have the prop levers already fully forward, so that's fine. Do we have a before descent checklist? Let's have a look. Descent. Apply power every 1500 feet to prevent excess cooling or plug fouling. Okay. Approach landing. Fuel pumps are going to go on. Mixture set. Propeller full forward. Gear will be down at 129 knots. Indicated airspeed, that is. So we could actually put the gear down right now. Flaps are going to be set at 103 knots. It's just there. And trim is going to be trimmed for 75 knots. So that's fine. That one's an interesting one. Apply power every 1500 feet to prevent excess cooling or plug fouling. I'm going to have to be careful of that one. So we're going to see if we can do that, because this does simulate obviously oil running out, giving engine damage, the spark plug damage, all that kind of stuff. Right, we're 3 nautical miles away. We're now going to go into heading mode. There we go. Come on. Ah, that would have helped. I should have switched heading on. That was my mistake. We'll straighten ourselves up. Oh, the ADF needle has come alive. There we go. Now how's this going to work? Don't really know. Right, so we are now going to sort of follow that needle. So we want that needle pointing up ahead. So if we just turn off slightly this way, we're going to move slightly further that way. There we go. This is looking good for me. Right, and we are just past the Goodwood VOR. I think. Would that be where the airport was then? Yeah, there it is. There's the airport right underneath us. That's something to see. Alright, well, back inside we go, because now this is important. This is going to be very important to us now. So we're going to start our descent when we're 7 miles past Goodwood. So at the moment we are 1.2 miles past. So we've got to get ourselves going on this. Now this is my first descent, so we're going to have to see. Right, we're going to reduce our speed to 110 knots. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to switch off this altitude hold of ours, which is not really available in the actual aircraft, like I said. In the second episode I did say that it's not available, but by middle clicking we can switch that off, and then we'll start reducing our height at the 7 mile marker. And we're going to try and get a nice 500 foot per minute rate of descent, as we all prefer to have. That looks like, I think that's Bournemouth ahead of us. So yep, just need to keep an eye on all of this now. This is becoming an important part of the flight. This is a very important part of the flight. And I believe it did say that we have to put the fuel pumps and everything back on, correct? As we're on approach. That tank is fine. We're going to remain with that tank, and we're just going to make sure the gears and flaps we are going to be absolutely fine with. So that's fine. 4.4 nautical miles. We've got about 2.5 miles to go. So we'll get ourselves prepared for this. I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I am enjoying flying this. This is a very, very detailed aircraft, and it does fly very, very well. I am actually quite impressed with this. Oh, we've got more turbulence. I don't like that turbulence. Right, 6 miles. I'm going to start working out the trim just slightly. Six and a half, and I think we should be good. We should be good to do the descent. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the power on this to quite a drop in power. I think that would work out about right for us, like so. And then we're going to reduce the airspeed, which is now reduced to what we need it to be, and we're going to start descending the aircraft. And we're going to see if we can get ourselves into a nice stable descent. Right, we want to increase the airspeed but keep our rate of descent at around 500 foot per minute. It does slow down very quickly, this aircraft. So we're at about 600 feet per minute at the moment, and I'm also going to adjust our heading ever so slightly to better our descent. And I think we've got a good descent rate. We're a little bit slow though, so I'd rather pick up speed. I want to bring ourselves up to about 110. That's about 100 right now. That's better. That's better. I'm happier with that. Okay, I'm still flying mostly hands off here. I've just trimmed the aircraft for a nice stable descent, or as stable as I can make it. So we're getting about 110 knots here. Now we're going to join the base leg, so the airport is right ahead of us. So we want to join the base leg for runway 02. So we're going to follow the coastline now. If that indeed is the airport ahead of us, which I think it might. Is it? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it might be. I think it might be. So what we're going to do is we're going to join the base leg for this. So we're going to turn towards the coast now. So we're going to turn this way. So the base leg for 02 is actually... Ooh, we're not dropping anymore. Keep that going. That's the base leg for 02. So where is Shoreham Airport? Is that it, just down there? I don't think so. If it is, we're going to have to do a weird circle. We're doing very good though, we're doing very, very well. So the base leg is basically 90 degrees out. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually get up to the coastline, and then we're going to follow the coast. We're going to follow the coast in. At this point we're also going to switch on our landing light again. We're going to switch on our fuel pump again. Actually not just yet. We'll switch the fuel pump on when we get to about 1,000 feet. Alright, we're going to follow the coast now. So we're going to turn back very gently. Still maintaining our rate of descent as best as we can. I think it's trimmed quite nicely for the descent. There we go. I can't actually see. There's one airport there, but I don't think it's that. And it's not rendering. The other airport is just not rendering in far enough. No, there's no way it could have been that, because I'm at 2,000 feet. There's no way I could have landed at that. So it's not that. That's okay. Follow this. We're going to keep it east. There we go. That's 02. That is probably it, actually. There's 02 and 20. Interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to land it there. What we need to do is we need to wait until we're at 1,000 feet. We're going to turn out to sea, or should we do a loop around? No, we're going to turn. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn out to sea right now, so the opposite of 02. Ooh, not like that. actually going to start leveling out right here. That wasn't very good. So I turned it a little bit too fast there, it seems. And keep it going. Right, we're below 1,000 feet here. Now I will switch the fuel pump on. And I want to level off here. So naturally, we need to always have the nose raised up as we do this. I'm actually going to go hands off I'm going to actually go back to manual flight in a moment. So the airport's behind us. If I just take a look out the window, you can see we're flying out to sea, and the airport is just over, how do I show you guys? There, just over there. So we're just going to turn in for that now, and I'm actually going to start doing this completely manually. So we're going to switch the autopilot off. There you go, autopilot is now off, and I'm going to fly this myself. So here we go, I have control. And I'm going to start bringing out one stage of flaps. I'm going to line up and land it myself. Okay, it's been interesting. It has been interesting. I need a bit more power than that. See the airport. To help if I could see the airport, that would be for certain. Can't actually see the airport. Never flown in this area. There it is. Okay, we're good. We're all good. We'll give the landing gear out. We are low, so all we're going to do is we're just going to maintain our height at the moment and bring ourselves on course for that runway. So not bad, not too bad. Actually, you know what? What I do need to do is I'm off to the right, quite severely off to the right. So let's get ourselves going to the left. But this is actually going to help us a little bit because I can crank up the power a bit and allow us to line up. This is because I was too low. Still way too low for this. Actually, you know what? Let's crank up the power a little bit more. And make sure I can actually get onto this runway. Never landed here before. Didn't even know what the approach was. There we go. Now we're coming back up. So we'll start bringing back the power. Alright, I think we are good to land. In fact, we are perfect to land now. All we had to do was just work it out. That's all we had to do. I'm going to start reducing the power now. It's going to be a nice, gentle landing. This aircraft slows down beautifully, actually. It really does slow down beautifully. It's very, very smooth. This is a very smooth aircraft to fly. So hopefully we can bring this down correctly without hitting anything. because it does look like a very short. There we go. Bringing it down. And we're down. On the brakes. Reduce power completely. Aircraft slowing down very nicely, actually. That is not bad. That was a very... For my first landing, I would say that was pretty smooth. That was pretty smooth. I think I had a decent landing. I didn't bring the flaps down all the way, I don't think. I also don't think that this was the right airport, but I couldn't find. I don't know where Shoreham Airport exactly is. I think the airport's further up because of the height that we were at. I don't think it was correct, and we could have brought the flaps fully down to 40, but I decided not to. I tell you what, let's bring ourselves off this runway. But it's completely all right. We're no big deal, and we're going to get off the runway. And we're actually going to just park it up here, even though this isn't a parking spot. But I just want to show you the shutdown procedure of this aircraft. So it's going to turn it. It turns very, very quickly. We could go over that side if we really wanted to, but I'm just going to show it to you over here. So there we go. Do that. Parking brakes on. We can switch the fuel pump off. Let's bring the checklist up for shutdown. Here we go. I think we did that okay. We did do that okay. Flaps fully retracted. Avionics can now go off. So I'll actually go over here and we can switch all these avionics off. So that goes... Oop, come on. No. Left click. There we go. Off, off, off. That can go off. You can see they all die as well. Just here, all these systems, they go. Switch that. Oops, off. That can go off. I think that's everything off. Nope, this one over here. That can go off, and this one can go off. There we go. That's all the avionics switched down. The propeller is full forward. The throttles are now fully closed. What else do we need to do here? Well, let's see. The mixture needs to go down to... Is that... There we go. Well, that just pretty much switched it off. That switched the aircraft off, just like that. So that shut that down. There is a mixture lock on here, as you saw. I had to click this lock. It doesn't allow it to go below 40%. Switch that to off. We can switch this off, that can all go off, that can go off, and I think we are good. We're good. There we go. That aircraft is now shut down. I hope you guys enjoyed that flight. I hope you guys enjoyed my looking at this aircraft. It's quite an interesting aircraft. Sorry I didn't show you the GPS. I just don't know how to use it enough yet. Obviously it's got the same features as the other GPS units, but it's much older, so there's a lot to learn on that. But hopefully I showed you a lot of the aircraft, if not all of it. We can now switch this to off as well. Switch that to off, and I hope you guys did enjoy that. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Flight Sim World. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Stay tuned for the Flight Sim tutorials. We are using this aircraft because this aircraft is a perfect tutorial aircraft. And for those people who purchase it, you'll be able to enjoy it along with me. For those people who don't, you'll still be able to enjoy the tutorials because everything that I teach is going to be universal. You'll be able to go all across different aircraft on it, and I'll show you what to look out for as well on each aircraft. Last but not least, do support me on Patreon. Link to that is in the description box below. I would massively appreciate your support. It would help me out a huge amount. Someone's decided to pop the chocks on here, so I think that's a perfect way to end. I will see you guys in another video of Flight Sim World.